Hello, hello. Welcome back. I'm Bonnie. This is Tech Stack Nation, and I'm so happy to bring our guest tonight, Mana Peirov from AG Charts, who has apparently something that everybody's excited about because we have a really good turnout tonight. So, Mana, you are going to show us how to use AG Charts.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you so much. And also shout out to because you're also from our sponsor, AG Grid. We love, I've loved AG Grid for a really long time. So we're already fans of AG Grid around here. And AG Charts just goes beautifully with it. And thank you for making time for us, Mana.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. I'm really happy about the turnout. It's a good number. It's good to know that some people are interested in AG Charts. I'm excited. Woo!
Me too. Me too.
Let me know when you want me to get started.
Yeah, are you gonna share your screen? Show it to us. Show us. Show us what you got, Mana.
1 second. All right. Sure. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. First, I'm just gonna. Oh, not this one. Let's go to our main. Okay. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Mana, and as many of you know, I'm a software developer at AG Grid. I've been working on the AG Charts library for the past 3 years or so. And what I'm going to do today is show you how easy it is to create charts in a React app using AG Charts library. And hopefully by the end of it, you will be convinced of how intuitive and straightforward it is, and then you want to go and get your enterprise license immediately after the call. Some of you might even want to get it while I'm talking because I'm that persuasive. But we also have a free community version, which is excellent. I'll get into that. And if this all goes to plan and it goes well, hopefully I should have something that looks a little bit like this. Well, will look like this, hopefully, fingers crossed. So yeah, this is a chart, a bar chart, a really simple one. It's just showing some data for different stations, London Underground stations for the Victoria Line, and the various number of entries for several periods of time during the day. So as the legend shows, like early in the day, morning peak, etc. So all right, let's get started. I took this code sandbox literally just from our website. It's here. I've just got some really simple boilerplate React stuff. It has like an index.js, and this here we have our root element, and then an app component. Really, nothing special here. And I've added the AG Charts React package and the AG Charts Enterprise to the package.json, and it's been installed, so it's all ready to use. As well as that, I've added the data. This data was taken from Transport for London. I think I have to say that. It's real data, I think. But it's just an array of values for each station. And yeah, so it's really simple. It's so simple that after I've done it, you're gonna laugh because you're like, oh, is that it? So what we could do is we could just import the AG Charts React component and just use it directly here in our app component. But I thought let's make it a little bit more realistic, and maybe we should create a chart component which uses the React AG Charts component. So if I just create a new file and call it chart, this will be our chart component, and it's literally just going to use the AG Charts React component, and I'll just create that. With me, guys. Yeah, and then what we can do in here is just import that and then use it. But first, before I do that, this React component, it obviously needs some configuration, which will be taken in as a prop called options. And this options object will be the configuration for our chart. And it's literally just some simple object, single object, which will be basically options contract. It has like the data that we want to chart. It will have some information about the how we would like the data to be processed by AG charts, what values to use from the data, and then it will have series configurations. By series, I mean like line series, bar series, the different types of series that you would see in a chart. And then all the different weird and wonderful customizations that you can do to make it unique and tailor it to your needs. All of that will go in here, and then it will get passed to this AG Charts React component, which will render the chart, and then whenever this prop changes, it will automatically re-render the canvas under the hood. So it's all taken care of. It's quite simple. Here in our app, I'm just going to import that in. And then use it to render a chart. Right now, it says no data to display because I haven't really given this options object any data. We have our data here, so we can just pull that in and add it to our options. But we'll need to, we don't need to import it, that's fine. We'll need to add some more context. So because this is this chart that you see here, it's a Cartesian chart. So you can see it's being plotted on a Cartesian coordinate system. We have an X axis here and a Y axis on the left. And what AG charts needs to know is what values from the data would you like to be plotted along the x-axis, and which ones would we want along the y? So for that, we need to provide x key and y key, which will be the keys to retrieve that information. And that all goes under the series configuration. My favorite, I just want to like a slight tangent, but my favorite page on the AG Charts website is the API section where you can see the options object structure, and that has all the things that you can configure. You can drill down into the various different parts of it. So if we want to create a bar chart, which we do, we know that we need to where we need to position the options within the structure. So within options, we would need to specify a series property, which is an array of objects. And then if you want to create a bar chart, you would create an object of type bar, and that will have the X key and the Y key. So I'll just add that in now. X key and Y key. All right, let's check what we're going to actually put here. So in our data, we have each one has a key station, which has the station information, the name of the station, and then it has like early, morning peak, into peak, etc. for the number of entries at that time of the day. Let's start with 1 to begin with. So I'll use station as the X key and early as the Y key. You can see straight away we have something really simple plotted, as easy as that. Great, but the chart that I showed you has all the different series. So let me go through and add those. So the other ones we had were morning peak, into peak, afternoon peak. evening. Oh, just make this a bit bigger. Nice. Looking good so far, if I do say so myself. That was pretty simple. But I think we can do a little bit better. So we can add things like a title, maybe. Add a title. Let's call it station entries. Nice. Add a subtitle. (2023). This is not so accurate. I mean, I'm not sure if it is from 2023, but for demonstration purposes only. And then a footnote. I'll say the source in the footnote, because that's usually what people do. Transport for London. All right. I'm happy with that, but as you can see here, we've got these legend items which have the Y key names as the display here for the labels. What we need to do is provide a name that corresponds to this Y key value. So we can do that. Specifying a Y name for each series. I'll just go through and make it look nice. I don't really know what interpeak means, but it's something. Afternoon peak, evening. Nice. Cool. And I would like these to be maybe configured, as in formatted. So to do that, what we need to do, so we've got series configuration, we can add axes configuration, because these are the axes labels. So the configuration for that will live under the axes configuration. And we have two axes. We'll have one on the left-hand side, which is of type number, and then one on the bottom, which is of type category. That didn't change anything because I'm just specifying what there already is, but I want to further modify them. So I will add some label configuration and add a formatter. For now, let me just return the same thing. But what I want to do is format this. So I'm going to need to add a function, a formatter function. So okay, now I can use it. So cool. That looks nicer, I think. And you can see we have, by default, we have certain styles for the charts to make them look good out of the box. But sometimes people want to make it look different. For example, by default, we've removed the grid lines for the x-axis categories. I want to put them back in, so that's quite easy to do. Don't even need to put that bit, but just does it. And then maybe for the left axis, I want to modify the interval between the ticks. Right now, I can see there's a tick every 10,000, but I could easily add more ticks by modifying the interval. And you'll see more ticks now. I think that looks better, in my opinion. All right, I think I'm happy with this. And it wasn't so difficult, seems very straightforward. So to spice things up, I think we should, because right now this options object is quite static, it's not really changing. What we can do is change it, because usually things change in apps. So I will add some options state here. And I'm just going to rename this to be Cartesian chart options. Start off with this. And it would help to import that. Okay. Cool. It's still really just the same. So if we want to change it up, maybe we should add a function to switch the chart type, for example. Series type. And that will take some options and a type to change to, and it will just return the same options, but the series will have a different type. So we can just use that to literally change the options to anything. So let's say I want to change it to a line, I can change it to a line. If I want to change it to an area, I can change it to an area chart. What else? What other kind of chart do we have? We have so many, but these are the main ones. Okay, but if I want to dynamically change, so let's say I want to change my options, what we can do is from our app, maybe add some buttons. So we can go back to our app and have that, this component, chart component, take a prop, which will be the series type. And then when that changes, we can update our options. So let's put series type as a prop here. And then what we can do is watch out for changes to that. So add that to our dependency array. And then when it changes, when series type changes, all we want to do is set the options and then switch our options to be for that series type. And then import the use effect. Cool. Alright, so now it is actually changing, and I'll just remove this to be the options. Okay. Cool. Just thinking. Okay, so in app, we can then send in that prop. So let's have some state here. Set series type. Start by bar. Import the use state. Okay. Then pass that down to our chart component. Cool. Again, it's kind of just staying the same, so we need to change it. That's why I'm gonna add some buttons now. Let's add a container for our buttons. I've already added the styling for most of the stuff, so it should just be styled. Here's some I prepared earlier. All right. Bar. That's what it is anyway, but yeah. When you click this, it should change the series type. So this one's just gonna set it to bar, which is what it already is. And then if we add more buttons, we can change it to different things. So line, area, no, area. Cool. Wonder if it'll work. Let's see. Oh, it works. Phew. Right. And then if you remember the example that I showed you initially, it had also some other buttons, including pi and donut. But as you know, pi and donut are not Cartesian charts, so the configuration for those is slightly different. It's still very much similar, it's just that the series will be polar series, so they don't have X key and Y key. Instead, they have options such as angle key, which will be used for the angle in the pi, or like a radius key, which will be used to retrieve radius values for the pi or the donut. So if we let's just add those here. Type pi and donut. And then here, what I'll do is, this is kind of like common stuff that you can have in both Cartesian and polar charts. So I'm just going to pull it out into some base options. Nice, and I can use that in my pie chart options. But now my series is going to be an array, which looks like this. So it'll be type pi, and it'll have an angle key instead of an X key and a Y key. Be quite simple, just like that. And then what we can do is make one for donut as well, which is slightly different. It's type donut, but it also requires some additional configuration, like a inner radius ratio. Cool. And now, when this series type changes, we can check what kind of chart it is. So maybe I'll add a switch statement here. And then in the case of pi, we can just add a default here. In the case of pi, we can use the pi options. Don't need to switch. It would help to break, because otherwise it's just gonna donut. Okay. Cool. It works, yes. I always get a little bit nervous before I press the buttons because you never know what's going to happen in a live demo, even though this is quite basic stuff. But yeah, thank the Lord, it works. Cool. So bar, line, area, pie, donut. And all of that in just a few minutes. I remember back in the day, a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was using D3 in React, and it was extremely painful. It's just so difficult to work with, and doing something really simple would take just hours, especially because there wasn't much documentation for that combination, D3 with React, because both of them are trying to control the DOM at the same time. With this, it's like everything, this AG charts component, AG chart React component out of the box will just take care of all of that for you. So if anything updates, it will automatically update and re-render the chart. If anything changes, it's just so easy to use. That's what I absolutely love about it. And if you, let's say, if you want to add any sort of configuration, you can just come here and look, where does it belong? Where can it go? For example, you can customize the tooltips, the legend, you can enable and disable features such as animations. And if there's certain configuration that you want to apply at a global level for all your charts, so for example, if you, let's say I have a line and I don't want to have markers enabled for the line, what I would have to do is, if I only had one line series, I would probably specify a marker option here, like this, and then disable it. And I would have to do that across all the different series, but because we have themes, we don't have to do that. We can just apply it on a kind of a global level. So these options can also have themes, and we also have a page where you can have a look at the theme API. It's really easy. We have some overrides, and for each series type, you can just specify what you would like. So, for example, you can do overrides, line, series, marker, enabled. I'm going to add that in, see if it works. Overrides, line, series, marker. It's a lot. And just like that, you've removed all of the markers on your line, which is great. It's so convenient. And we also have a mouse just run out of battery. We also have some like base themes that you can use out of the box. Okay, I'm going to go to material because I love that theme. Does that work? Can't even tell. Yeah, it did. Colors look very similar. You can use one that's not very similar so you can see, maybe. So the base theme, we can have, maybe we should use this one, is pretty good. Let's go with it. It's pretty. There we go. So there's stuff that you can use just easily. And if you don't like working with something like this, which I think most developers would love because it's very easy to follow, you just drill down into the separate parts, and then each section will have some information about what that property does and how it affects the chart look and feel. But we have hundreds and hundreds of examples in our documentation. We've spent time creating for each series type, for example, and all of those examples, they've been written in for all the major framework types. So you can just switch between JavaScript and React, for example, and then you can see the code used to create that specific chart and take inspiration from that. You wouldn't even have to do the conversions yourself from JavaScript to whatever framework you're using. That's how easy it is. So I would say this is a library that's being created by developers for developers to make it as smooth as possible, as intuitive as possible. And there's a great team of excellent developers, some of the best, I would say, in the world. I'm so glad and grateful to be working with them, working just to improve the canvas rendering performance, thinking about accessibility, memory usage, the just the amount of new chart types and features and improving existing chart types and features. Not really any bug fixes because we don't have any bugs. I'm going to assume that whoever's muted right now is laughing at my joke. But yeah, like
I was laughing at your joke, actually.
Thanks. we just have, I'm saying this because I want everyone to know how much passion and love goes into creating this, because we are super excited about it and we are proud of what we've achieved so far. But there's still so much more we're going to add and we're planning on working on. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. You can see even in our gallery all these examples of the new chart types that we've added. Yeah, it's about to get wild. You guys should prepare yourselves because things are going to go down. That's it from me. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
We have a little tradition here at Tech Stack Nation. Will you guys help me out? Everybody, please come off mute and help me thank Mana for taking the time to prepare this for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mana.
Thank you, Mana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mana. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. We will see you soon. Feel free to stay. I'm going to stop the recording. We'll hang out and socialize for a bit. If you're on YouTube watching this, you should come and hang out with us in the live chats on techstacknation.com. And again, thanks, Mana. Thanks, AG Charts. Thanks, AG Grid.
Thanks, Mana.